How you doing, everybody? I am Jay Enterprise. This March of the Kings video is about 2 changes that I would make in Godzilla 2014. The film that kicked off the MonsterVerse, Godzilla 2014, was the first faithful American adaptation of Japan's most famous monster. However, it wasn't without controversy. Though most critics gave it positive reviews, it was quite divisive amongst the Godzilla fandom. As fans do with most films, many have expressed what they would change about the movie if they were in charge. In this video, I'm going to discuss 2 changes that I would have liked to have seen in Godzilla 2014. Now, I'm not going to say the obvious, often repeated things like more Godzilla, less cutaways, and not killing off Bryan Cranston. And of course, it would have been easy to say I would have done this or I would have done that and create a completely different movie than what we got. That's why I wanted to highlight 2 changes that would not dramatically alter the movie in any way. They are minor changes that would simply have expanded character story arcs a little without making changes to the overall plot of the film. These changes would involve the characters of Ford Brody and his wife Elle. I'll start with Elle, played by Elizabeth Olsen. The change I would have made would have put more emphasis on her devotion to her job as a nurse. One thing that always bothered me was Ford telling Elle to stay in San Francisco and wait for him.
I'm gonna be at the hospital by sunrise. Then I'm gonna get you and Sam out.
Why would he tell her to stay put when he knows giant monsters are headed right in her direction? That never made sense to me. Instead, I would have liked to see Ford tell Elle to take their son and get out of the city as fast as possible, only for Elle to insist on staying behind, as first responders would be needed during the upcoming crisis. We still would have gotten the scene of her putting Sam on the bus, but instead of staying in the city because Ford told her to, we would get a much better understanding of Elle's dedication as a nurse. This would have given her character a bit more development, portraying her as a very brave woman willing to put herself in harm's way to perform her duty and save lives. This change would still allow Ford to have the motivation for going to San Francisco like he does in the actual film. Aaron Taylor Johnson played Ford Brody. Throughout the film, we are reminded that he specializes in disarming bombs.
Look, this is what I do. This is my job.
In fact, that's one of the main reasons he goes to San Francisco during the finale, to disarm a nuclear warhead. And as we know, he never accomplishes that, instead driving a boat out into the harbor where it eventually goes off, apparently far enough to not cause damage to the city. However, this is a bit of a stretch and requires you to suspend your belief to the point where it kind of takes you out of the movie. There's no way this boat traveling at this speed can get far enough away in 5 minutes for a nuclear explosion to be a non-factor. Why not just have Ford disarm it like you've been building up to the whole movie? And that's the change I would make. After Ford turns the boat on and starts heading out into the bay, he realizes he doesn't have enough time and that he needs to disarm the bomb. He struggles with the casing, eventually getting it off and disarming it in the nick of time. It would have been a great opportunity to build some extra tension by letting the clock go almost to 0 before he disarms it. Once it is disarmed, Ford slumps down, relieved that he accomplished what he set out to do. Then the female Muto arrives, kiss of death, Godzilla goes to sleep, Ford is rescued, and the movie concludes exactly the way it does. So those are my 2 minor changes. Elle gets a hero's portrayal, and Ford's skills are actually utilized, both without the story being completely rewritten. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Godzilla 2014, and tell me what changes, if any, would you make? Let me know in the comments down below. Take care, monster movie fans. Big thanks for watching. If you were entertained by this video, please show your support by liking and sharing, and be sure to subscribe for more Godzilla-related content as we count down the days to Godzilla vs. Kong.